Hello, dear friends. I'm sharing a second part to the concept of power versus empowerment. Not that power is wrong, but it's the idea of having power over somebody or something versus utilizing the power, the spirit, the energy that comes through me and the ideas that come through me to help empower others. So in the Earth Day example, I'll put a link here, that was, the concept of if I can make a tree into paper, but the tree can't make me into paper, then I must be more powerful than the tree and I must be more special than the tree. And so I can use the tree for my advantage. That kind of a thinking versus what's best for the tree, what's best for the world is what's best for me. So how can we be in relationship and utilize the gifts that we all have to share in sustainable ways? So you can check that out on this link. This one is about people. And they're all personal messages. They're all personal insights that I offer in case it's helpful and inspiring to you. So take from this whatever is helpful to you and leave anything that doesn't resonate with you. Use your own discernment for it. I believe that as we are all the same energy, I believe I call that energy spirit or divine or love. Anything that you want to say, you can call it God. It's fine. Whatever word works for you. I'm going to use the word spirit. So I believe that as spirit, as each of us being a unique perspective of the same spirit, nobody knows better than you and spirit. When you're in that connection mode, which if you meditate, you've experienced that maybe. That feeling of when my little brain perspective is connected to a larger perspective. That's why I meditate, to get out of this perspective and into a larger perspective that has the interests of all beings at its heart. So, and a feeling of that, just to share an image that's been helpful to me, is if you know the game pinball, where the ball bounces against all this stuff and it's like bing, 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 bing. If you think of that as a state of trying to figure it out, it's all bouncing all over and messing up my hair. And then when you lose the game of mental freaking outage, the ball drops down the center. When the ball drops down the center, there is peace. And it goes back to the source that it came from. And when I have that experience, then I know I'm connected in my meditation. And then sometimes it shoots back out again and starts bing-bonging, and then I just wait for it to drop. And I have it drop into my heart. That's how I know. If my awareness is in my heart, that's how I know I'm connected. So it's a little side thing. And in that place, I can discern very clearly whether I resonate with something that somebody else is saying. So I encourage you to do that. If this resonates with you, keep watching. If it doesn't, fare thee well, because I believe that all paths are divine. That said, there are a lot of guides and leaders and practices and religions out there, and believing that they're all divine ultimately, I also feel that it's time for us to look very, very closely at, is this way, whatever you're following right now, for me, whatever I'm following, which are many different things, does this person or this way empower me to connect with spirit in a deeper way? Or is this person in this way telling me that I need to give over in service to that particular way, that this is the only way, or that this person or this guru, teacher, priest, whatever, knows better than my heart, and that I need to give in giving my life over in service to spirit, which I do every day, that I need to give my life over to spirit as interpreted by this human being, which if anyone's here or was here on the planet, that's a human perspective. Not to say that it's not divine. It's absolutely divine. We're all divine. But that's one human perspective. So if I want to consult a perspective, then I will talk to a human being. If I'm interested in and by want, I mean if I'm interested in consulting a human perspective, I will read a book or talk to a human being. If I'm interested in a spirit perspective through as interpreted by the unique being that I was created as, then I will learn practices, I'm learning them from people, learn practices of meditation to connect with divine directly. Does that make sense? So some questions that have been very helpful to me to ask. Words are very powerful, and especially if we're singing them or chanting them or repeating them, especially if it's in a group setting, they're very powerful. And from a young time, I've been aware of this. And in first grade, when we were told we had to give the Pledge of Allegiance, put our hand on our heart and say these words, one nation under God, indivisible. And I was saying, what if people don't believe in God? I grew up in a church, but I still wasn't quite sure about this God that would kill a bunch of people. And I don't know what the other people in this class believe, but it seemed to me the really powerful words to be giving my life over to this flag. Like, what does that mean? And my teacher, bless her heart, great teacher, probably didn't know how to deal with that from a 6-year-old. It was like, we just need to say it. And that didn't work for me. So I would change the words. And I've been changing words in ceremonies and services all my life. And that serves me. And not just that, I would change the words of pop songs to make them empowering. I change the words because if I'm going to sing something, I am creating that with my words. Everything that we say is an affirmation, someone once said. Totally true. So if I feel that the balance of masculinity and femininity is not really being accurately represented by a spiritual practice, I'm going to question that, and I have. If I feel that a spiritual leader is saying, give your life over in service to the divine, I am the divine, give your life over in service to me, and I will take away all of your pain, I'm going to question that. Because I would like to be the one deciding what goes on in my life with Spirit's guidance. Not just turning a blind eye and following orders on any human being, even if what they say is that they're working for the love of all. Great, you do that. I'm going to do it my way. That said, yes, of course we can work together and collaborate together for a common goal. Absolutely. I do it every day. But the people who I work with know, and I make sure that they know because I tell them. And my interns know that the most important thing to me, for them, is that they are doing their work. And if that means that they can't work for me today or whatever, that they know that that's more important. So, in my mind, many lights giving energy to the one light, the one leader, the one who will lead us to greatness, that's over. It's over. We experienced it. We did it for a long time. And that was really interesting. It was a really interesting experience. And now, I believe we're in a place where we are all teachers and students for each other. And we are all leaders in our own way. And yes, some people, we're all designed a little bit differently. So some people came in with a certain composition and calling to be a lightning rod for an idea or a movement or a project. And that's not everybody's path, and that's fine and beautiful. And so yes, we can come together collectively for a common goal, but the job, there's a better word than job, and it's not coming to me. The intention, the goal, the sacred vow of being a leader is to empower others to shine their light in their way for the collective good of all, because that's when we work better. together, is when you can uniquely use your gifts, and then we come together and then we communicate, and it's like, whoa, really, really fun. And I'm at a time in my life where I'm working with incredible people and not controlling them, but we're communicating in ways that help us to create greater work than we could alone, or than we could if it was just my vision and I was dictating to them and they were just serving my vision. That creating a collective vision together, this is getting long. Is that making sense? We are connected. Vibes to you and all you do to share this light in your own unique way.